Lindsay from Cat Fur and Cross Stitch here with my 4th Flosstube video. Today I'm going to be bringing you my July wrap up, so my finishes, my whips, my haul, which is insane. I don't know how I ended up with so much new stuff. I'm not going to make excuses. I clearly have been shopping, but I don't know if I was like sleep shopping or what was going on because the haul is insane. So that'll be towards the end of the video for anyone who maybe doesn't want to be enticed, enabled, all of that fun stuff and isn't interested in haul. Then you can just see the finishes and the whips and move on your merry way. But for all of those who love haul, I got you covered. So let's get into the July video. Okay, so we're going to start with the finishes. And do I have finishes in July? I actually have 3 fully no, that's a lie. I have 3 finished objects. They're not framed, so they're not fully finished, and 1 FFN, or finished for now. So we'll start with the FFN. This is my Castle Homecoming by Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. I'll insert a picture of what it looks like right here. You don't really have to look at the picture because I'm all caught up. So this is what we look like currently. This is parts 1, 2, and 3. I'm stitching this on 36 count Heritage by Picture This Plus. I think in a previous video I had said that it was Valor, which I believe is a called for fabric, but on further research it is Heritage, and I'm loving that little dragon guy and the way that he's cooking the s'mores of the night. Yes, please. So this was a really easy section. It was just the dragon and that knight. So I was able to get that done in 2 or 3 sittings. It's baseball season, so my sittings aren't exactly lengthy these days, but I was able to get that one done and all caught up. So pats on my back for being caught up on a stitch along. Doesn't happen often. And then in the last video, the June wrap up, I had said that part of my plans for July were to finish this project for my husband's birthday, and I'm happy to say he's done. This is Fat Cat by Forbidden Fiber Co. It is stitched on a Picture This Plus fabric. I think it's 28 count. It could be 32 count. I can't remember because I didn't keep the sticker for it. But I love how it turned out. It is stitched with all the Forbidden Fiber Co. flosses. And of course, I mean, I live by this motto that I'm not overweight, I'm just under tall. I really should be 7 foot 4 inches. So I love it. I did give it to my husband for his birthday. I didn't finish it fully because I wasn't sure if he would want it in a frame or as a pillow or a flat fold or something like that, because he did move into a new office at his work and he has glass walls and like a glass door and stuff. So it doesn't really bode well to having like framed artwork. And I don't know about you, but when I make something, I want him to show it off just as much as I like to show it off. So I thought that would be something fun to bring to his office. But he said to finish it in a frame, so that's what I'll do. And I'll hopefully have that to show you by the end of the summer, so August-ish. We do have our local playoffs for baseball in the middle of the month, and then we're likely have the provincial playoffs at the end of the month, assuming we make it. So it's going to be another busy month. But regardless, I'll do my best. Another finish, actually the next 2 finishes are projects that I had that lingered in my collection for a really long time, and in my whip collection, sorry. They're some of the older projects that I have, but also some that were closest to the finish. So with it being Jolly July, I thought it would be a great time to pull these out and stitch them. So the first one is one that I'm really happy to have done, and that is Hollyberry by Kitty and Me Designs. And isn't she cute? I think those eyes are literally piercing. Like, I look into them and I get lost. It's crazy how beautiful this is. This is stitched on a 28 count sparkly white linen. I'm not 100% sure if there's like a brand name or if it's just Zweigart. It does have the orange salvage, so I do believe it's just a Zweigart, and it's just the sparkly white in all the called for. And I did just finish this the other night, so to solidify my Jolly July finishes, I was really happy with this one. I do have a couple other Kitty and Me designs in the cats. I believe I have Mermaid, cat, Nightmare cat, which is like the Halloween one, and then I have the rainbow cat. So I do anticipate stitching them because even though it's not necessarily my style, I tend to lean more primitive if I'm going to pick patterns and I'm trying to be a little more intentional with what I stitch. They're just so beautiful that when they're all done up, and they're easy. They're DMC and number 8 Kreinik, which is like worse than Devil Floss, but not too much. And then the other one is actually another Christmas one, so another Jolly July, and this is Oh Christmas Tree by All Through the Night. And I'm not sure, again, what this is stitched on because it's been so long, I didn't have the tag, but it is on a 36 count, I believe, Picture This Plus. The tag that I have on the pattern says it's 30 count putty linen by Weeks Dye Works, but I know that's not what this is because I did restart it at some point, and it is stitched all in English Ivy by Classic Colorworks. So that is, let me get it a little closer, what that looks like. This was really fun. It was a lot of fiddly stitching because I'm trying to, you know, make the back look somewhat decent so that you can't see any strands through. Actually, that's kind of cool. From far away, you almost can't even tell what side's what. So it was a little bit fiddly, but I didn't worry about stitching one stitch at a time with the fancy floss because the variegation isn't so in your face that you really needed to worry about it. So I just went along the line and came back and did all the bits and pieces that came off each branch as they came up. So that was nice and easy to do. And because I had 2 finishes that I have physical patterns for, I wanted to give those patterns away. I do have another giveaway later in this video of not used items, but these are used gently by me. So I have the pattern for Oh Christmas Tree by All Through the Night. And if you're interested in just grabbing this, want it for your stash, or you want to stitch it or whatever, just use the word tree in the comments and I will pick someone in my next regular Flosstube video to send this off to, and I'll just pop that in the mail. It's open worldwide. And the other one is Fat Cat by Forbidden Fiber Co. I have the pattern, and I'll also toss in all of the extra flosses that I have because I don't need them necessarily. I would keep them for my stash, but I'm happy to pass them along. There are a couple that I think I ran out of or really close, but easy enough that you can switch them out for something in your stash. So if you're interested in the copy of Fat Cat plus the flosses that went along with it, just use the word Garfield. I don't want to use fat, it just seems wrong, and cat, because of the cat cross stitch, I thought it just might be too much. So use the word Garfield in your in the comment below if you would like me to send you a copy of this. All right, so let's get into the regular whips. Okay, while we're on the topic of giveaway, let me go over the winners of last video's giveaway. I was giving away a copy of Summer Quakers by Leela Studio and a project bag by Sheba Designs. So I have here in front of me the winner of Summer Quakers is Nancy Boylan. She used the word summer in one of her comments, and I am happy to say, Nancy, that you won the pattern. So if you can get in touch with me by email or a DM on Instagram, both of them are linked in the description bar down below. I will be happy to send you off a copy of the pattern in the next upcoming weeks. I will also leave a comment on your comment so that you know that you won. And the project bag by Sheba Designs, which look like this, goes to Alexandra Merritt. And she used the word B in her comment and her name was picked. So same thing for you, Alexandra, if you can leave me an email or a message on Instagram, both again are in the description bar down below. I'd be happy to send this bag off to you. So congratulations to Nancy and Alexandra. On with the whips. In the month of June, I actually decided that I was going to do this new challenge for myself, and it's called the Length of the Day Challenge, or LOTD project. I'm using the hashtag on Instagram when and if I post, but I am really trying to stick to it. I actually used, my very first project was the Oh Christmas Tree, and what I'm doing is I'm taking a length of floss, so whether that's one individual piece of the 6 strands or all 6 strands, and I'm putting it in one project every single day until it's finished. So Oh Christmas Tree was that project. It was with fancy floss and it was 2 over 2 on 36 count. So it was just 3 lengths of the floss because I was doubling up for the 6 strands. The one that I picked for number 2 is Patchwork Quaker, and it is 2/2 on 36 count as well, but it's with DMC, and I do the loop method, so it's actually 6 strands. So it's a little longer each day with the project, but I have kind of come up with a plan that if I can't finish, that I'm finishing either one Quaker design or a full length of floss. So I have a little bit of a get out of jail free card if I don't want to use all 6 strands. So here, don't mind the non-ironing. It's literally just came off the hoop because I'm trying to work on the floss or the length of the day for today. But here's Patchwork Quaker, and I'll put on the screen who it's by because I literally can't say it. This is on 36 count Aqua Linen by Zweigart, and it is with all the DMC colors. So I have done, since I started length of the day, I've done this entire Quaker pattern, this little guy here, this one here, and then over here, I've done this, I've done the bee, and I'm working on this one here. So I'm just picking kind of what goes next. So today I did this little one here, and in the same color is this flower. So I'm going to finish off this flower, and whether I finish the 6 strands of DMC or not, I'm going to call it a day. And then tomorrow, I think there's a really big pattern here. So I'll pull out this floss color for the next round. And I'll actually put on screen here what the finished pattern will look like. And I'm really enjoying the length of the day challenge. It's giving me a little bit of an oomph to work on those projects that are a little bit more monochrome, that have been sitting in my collection for a really long time. I'm not setting in stone what I have to work on. I'm just trying to pick things that are maybe a little bit like half to almost 3/4 of the way done, that just need that little bit of TLC to finish. So if you're interested in joining along, I would love to follow you. So please use the hashtag LOTD project. I'll put it right here over on Instagram, and I will follow your progress along. I think there's a couple of people that are actually doing that. So welcome. I'm happy to stitch along with all of you every day. Okay, next up, in the vein of Jolly July, I pulled out the Snowman collector series from Cottage Garden Samplings, and I did work a little bit on the first pattern. So the first pattern in the series is the Needleworker. That's what that looks like there. Sorry, they're always on an angle. I'm trying not to get the glare of the ring light on them, and I don't want to take them out of their packaging. Just gets messy when the cover is not attached to the actual design. So I'm stitching this on the called for fabric, which is Milk Chocolate or Chocolate Milk by hand dyed by Stephanie. And it's a huge piece. So I have some border done. And this is all I got done on that first Snowman. So let me fold it and bring it a little closer. There we go. That is all I got done. It's a lot of stitching. I was just like, oh, these like if it's anything like the Woodland series or was it the Woodland series from last year? They stitch up real quick. It's totally fine. This guy's not gonna stitch up quick. Like, I felt like I was stitching and stitching and stitching, and like there's nothing here. So they're gonna take a little while, and I got a little burnt out on it. And I didn't want to burn myself out for Christmas stitching in July because it's already hot and hard to stitch Christmas stuff in July. So I just decided to put it down, and then I would go to it again in the colder months and maybe lie under this blanket of fabric and stitch away. So I have that stored in a Little Boat 88 bag. And of course I have a snowman on it because that's fitting. Next up is a salve that I'm actually running with Shiloh at xstitchMD, and that is for Every Opening Flower by Brenda Gervais, or With Thy Needle and Thread. Never 100% sure if like she does patterns under her own name and under With Thy Needle and Thread, or if they're under both, because her name's here and With Thy Needle and Thread's here, and I do have patterns that only have one or the other, but regardless, you know who she is and you know who she who she designs under. So this is Every Opening Flower, and I am stitching this on, oh, I was like, where is it? It's gone. On a piece of, do I have the fabric in here? No. I'm stitching this on a piece of color and cotton fabric. I'll put the name on the screen because I know I said it last week, but for some reason I can't remember what that is. And this is how far I got in the month of July. I only stitched on this for 2 or 3 days before I switched out and did some of the Christmas stitching. So I think I did pretty well for those 2 or 3 days. I love the colors. I love how it's stitching up, and I really think that the colors go well on this fabric. So yeah, I'm really happy with it, and I look forward to continuing it to stitch on it in the coming months. I also saw her at home pattern, and I'm not gonna lie, I might have it in haul, and that's really enticing as well. The last whip that I have to show you is actually the Owl Forest Embroideries Treasure Island Sal. I'm way behind. I don't even officially know when that started, but I did start stitching on it anyway. And I'm stitching this on a 36 count of Vintage Country Mocha, which is the called for fabric. And I'm stitching it with all of the called for Owl and Forest embroidery flosses. And that's all I have so far. I think that's a decent portion of the first clue. And like I said, I just was really wanting to stitch Christmas, so this just didn't appeal to me, and it was a lot of color changes. But yeah, I'm happy with the way it's looking, and I will continue to stitch it. As the pattern comes out more and more, I realize it's really not to my taste. So I'll definitely stitch the top, like get to the Treasure Island banner and maybe the other side, and then see how I feel. I just want to give it time to see what the full pattern will look like before I decide officially whether I want to keep stitching it or not. Yeah, I don't know why. It's just one of those things where like mystery stitch-alongs really just are hard for me because you don't know what they're going to look like when you start stitching. And therefore, I never know whether I want to finish them as each part comes out. So the first part you may fall in love with, maybe even the second part, but by the third or the fourth, you're kind of losing your mojo on it. You're not loving how it looks. And I'm actually thinking of the Queen of the Forest or Queen of the Earth, or the one by Autumn Lean Stitchery that came out this summer, and how everyone was really gung-ho for it. And then the face came out and it was like, all HE double hockey sticks broke loose in the Facebook group over that face. And I was sitting there going, I'm so happy that I didn't put in all the time to stitch that, that stitch, because I wasn't happy with the faces either, but I hadn't put in all the work for the body. So therefore I didn't feel compelled to continue stitching it. And it also solidified that I wasn't going to start it. So even though I bought it, who knows, maybe I'll change my mind in the future, but for right now, it's not going to happen. And look how dry my hair is. I bleached it and dyed it purple. Almost fell off. Life is grand at the old cat fur and cross stitch house. Okay, so that ends my section on whips and finishes and all of that stuff. Before I lose any of you, because you don't want to stick around for the insane amount of haul that I have to show, I did want to do this month's giveaway so that I don't lose any possible people who might want to join or have a chance to win. I am giving away another project bag this month. It is a Little Boat 88 bag, and it is this beautiful summery whale print. I thought with the fact that we were going to be going into the last month of summer, at least in my opinion, and that tomorrow the Summer Quaker Sal by Leela Studio, that's being run by Samantha over at the Hygge Stitcher, is going to start. This would be a perfect bag to celebrate that. So inside the bag, I'm trying not to get the reflection, there is a thread bed that matches, and again, it's a beautiful vinyl front bag. If you're interested in a chance to win this, just leave the word whale in a comment down below, and I will pick the winner in my next regular Flosstube video. So good luck to everyone and happy playing. Now we're going into haul, so don't say I didn't warn you. This is just the stuff that doesn't fit in the basket. We're gonna start with some project bags, and then we'll move over to some floss and patterns and fabric, and then I think we'll end the video with some plans, because some of the plans are from haul. Actually, only one of the plans is from haul, but regardless, we'll finish with that. So I have a bunch of new bags because I can't stop buying them and makers keep making them. This is another Little Boat 88 bag. I mean, how cute is that? It looks like little Christmas cookie cutouts to me. I know it's not, but I think of them as like little Christmas Halloween sugar cookies. So cute. And then again, Little Boat 88 always includes the matching thread bed. So the inside fabric is this beautiful, beautiful bats and a moon, and then the matching thread bed. Next up is another Little Boat 88. Cute sea turtles and seaweed or coral. And then again, inside the matching thread bed, you can't really see, it's right here, and it's in the same fabric as the backing. And I've got this really cute, it's like a coffee or tea one with cupcakes and donuts and yummy scrumptious looking items. And then the inside of this one is a beautiful plaid and the thread bed. And then I have two Sheba Designs bags. The first one I couldn't resist. This is going to be my bag that I'm going to put my Summer Quaker by Lila Studio in. And that is the back there, just a lot of really nice beachy sayings. And then the inside is beautiful seashells and a crab, I guess. And then the last one that I have is a winter one, and I couldn't resist all these little cute animals. I think this is a hedgehog or a porcupine. I'm not sure, but he's so cute. And then the inside is, yeah, it's a sparkly snowflake fabric. So super happy with that. Those are the new bags. Actually, I have one more new bag, but it's got my plans in it. So those are my new bags. Let's go into patterns. That's a problem, people. First up, I have the JBW Designs Eliza's French Birds. It's the teeniest little pattern, but I saw a couple people stitching this one up and I couldn't resist it. It's so stinking cute and I love the way it looks stitched up. So I had to pick myself up one of those. And then Lisa over at Lost in Stitches was talking about doing kind of a companion stitch along to Pam's survival stitch along. I think that's what she's calling it, with the Courage by Praiseworthy Stitches. And she had instead two of these patterns by Cottage Garden Samplings, and I loved them. And obviously I'm a big fan of Cottage Garden Samplings, so I decided that I would pick up the two patterns that she was thinking of stitching and stitch along with her. So I'm gonna link Lisa's channel down below. She's a fantastic woman, so inspiring, and she's Canadian, so can't beat it. But the first pattern that we have here is Gratitude, and this is Heart Full of Gratitude. It is the Songbird Garden series, and this is pattern number 12. And then the other one is Courage, and it says Have Courage, and this is the same series, but number 8. I really like those two. This one's beautiful. I think I'll probably stitch this one first. I just love those flowers. So yeah, if you're interested in stitching along, but maybe you're like me and couldn't find the Praiseworthy Stitches pattern, or you wanted something that was a little bit different because that one wasn't to your taste, these two patterns are really good alternatives and kind of fit the same meaning and thought behind them. So yeah, again, that's Lisa Lost in Stitches, and her idea to kind of do a stitch along adjacent to the actual stitch along. Another pattern that I picked up, and I can't remember whose video I saw this one on, but it's really pretty. And this is Olivia Okrolep. I don't actually know how to say that. And it's Silver Creek Samplers. And it's just a really beautiful autumnal one. I really like the Silver Creek Samplers stitches as well. It's a lot of words, which go really quickly. And then a very robust and involved autumnal dress that will probably take forever. And then this one, I may have seen this, I want to say it was on Phoebe from Moonshine Stitchery, but no, I'm not 100% sure. This is Lavender Farm, and it's by Core Ebatacore. Beautiful, so pretty. And there's lots of other ones that are similar to this. There's Lavender Farm, Sunflower Farm, a bunch of different other farms. I just think it's really, really pretty. I love the purples. And I think that would be a really nice like summer or spring stitch. Another one is Tellin Emblems, and this is called the Scissor Sampler. It's actually on the inside. Really pretty. I just think it's very delicate and looks simple, but there's probably a lot of stitching in this. Then, as mentioned earlier, I got my At Home pattern by With the Needle and Thread, or Brenda Gervais. It's gorgeous. I couldn't help it. I saw Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch post about it and immediately started searching the internet for this pattern. And I did get it at Traditional Stitches, which is a Canadian company. I find they're really good. They have everything in stock or everything available, and then they order a lot of it to order. So you may wait a little bit, but you can get everything, which is kind of nice. So I'm really looking forward to starting that one. I also got the Plum Street Samplers Summer Moon. I do have, is it Winter Moon or Spring Moon or whichever other one that's out. So I did get the Summer Moon to go along with it. I pretty much get all of Paulette's patterns. I love them. And then I just take off, like this one has the American flag up in the corner here. I'll just take that off and just do the full moon and not have the flag at all, because obviously I don't live in America. And then I did get the next two available Snowman collector series. So this one is the Gardener, and I love the colors in this one. Really pretty. And then I got, this is number 7, the Coachman. That one's really neat. It reminds me of Little House on the Prairie. Anyone else? Do I have any other Little House on the Prairie sisters, brothers out there? It's one of my favorite shows growing up. So this one reminds me a lot of Little House on the Prairie. So I'll definitely stitch that. This and That by Rosewood Manor. I thought this would be a nice companion piece to Rhapsody in Blue. Blue Rhapsody, I think it's called, that Holly and I are going to be stitching together. I think she started that. I haven't started it yet. It was Christmas. It was Jolly July. But I thought this one would go along really well with the blues in that, and then the pinks and the reds in this. They would just look really nice next to each other. I was going to say Paula Kogut. Teresa Kogut's next book. This is With Thy Hands, and it has some really beautiful stitches in it. I'm not sure if there is a page that has any of the actual pictures of the stitches. It definitely, like, I mean, it has the sampler, so With Thy Hands, which is what I did buy it for, which, I mean, it's the sampler in the book. And I'm just going to see if there's any other pictures of what might be in here that are easy to find. So here's some of the other stitches that are in there. This is Molly's Hands. Tried to read that backwards in script, was not easy. Let's see, Hands to Work. And I think that might be it. Yeah, and that's it. So really nice book. It's got 3 or 4 patterns in it. Really enjoyed it. Another Rosewood Manor, this is Dreaming of Mums. I got the idea to get this pattern from Bobbi over at Pumpkin Creek Primitives. She and her group of friends did a round robin, or are doing a round robin, I'm pretty sure it's done, of all of the Dreaming of patterns. And they each picked a specific one that they liked. Some of them picked the same one, and then they sent it around and stitched little motifs from each of them, and that way they have like a joint project that they all stitched on together. And I couldn't decide which one I really liked, and then I decided that the Mums one was probably the most like me. I love the fall colors in this, and I just think for the fall this is going to be a beautiful pattern to stitch. I'm not sure, I found a lot of the Rosewood Manor patterns have the floral names or names under them, and I don't love that, so I may leave off all of the back-stitched floral names and just do the actual flowers. I think that would still look really nice, or maybe just do some little diamond patterns where the names are. Just because I don't find my back-stitching when I'm doing little, like lots of words, looks really good, so I don't really want a pattern that has a lot of it. I picked up Wildflowers by Kathy Barrick. I just saw too many people stitching it. I couldn't resist. It's really nice. And again, this is just a pattern that looks pretty simple, but I know it's going to be absolutely enormous and a ton of stitching. How big is this? Yeah, it's 143 by 208. So it looks tiny, but it's going to be a lot of stitching. And I also got Fractor Flowers. I love this. I think it's so pretty. so, so pretty. I'm not sure if I'd put the alphabet around it. I might just do the florals, but it's so pretty. And then from, is it Megan and Cam? I think it's Megan and Cam that are stitching this. So Megan the Seattle Stitcher and Cam is Cam the Stitcher. And they're doing Winter Moth. Is it? White Winter Moth by Kathy Barrick. Sorry. And again, after waiting and waiting and waiting and going, I'm not going to do it, I'm not going to do it, I had to get it. So I picked this one up as well. And it's funny, when you do look at the pattern, it looks like it's black, and I'm pretty sure it's blue stitching in the moth and everything. So I'm looking forward to stitching that guy. And then the next two patterns, which are the last two patterns, are the blame of Lauren over the New Hampshire Stitcher. So this one is Pink Sparrow Sampler by Brenda Gervais. And this is what, I mean, it doesn't actually say anywhere on here that it's by With Thy Needle and Thread. But it says Brenda Gervais, so either or. But it's so pretty. And if you haven't seen the finished project, go on over to Lauren's video. I think it was probably one of her first couple videos. She does have this finished and she shows you what it looks like, and it's so pretty. The colors are so vibrant and just fun, and something that you don't normally find in samplers. So I did a search and I finally found this pattern again at Traditional Stitches, and I picked up a copy. And the last one, also Lauren's fault, is Carriage House Sampling. There's too many that sound similar. And this is the garden sampler. This came out at Market or Expo, whichever one is in the winter this year, I believe. And it's so pretty. So, so pretty. I have more haul related to this, so I'm just going to leave this one aside, and I'll show you that when I get to the next section of haul. But yeah, again, Lauren is probably, I want to say like a third of the way through this. She may have already even done one entire stock, so maybe halfway through, but it looks great. So head on over to her channel and check out her last video, which will show this. Also, I think she uploaded a whip parade not that long ago, so you can actually see all of her projects. So I'll link all of the people that I talk about in the description bar down below. Let's get the rest of the haul. You guys, I told you, it's never ending. All right, so next up is actually some fabric, and then we'll get into floss, and then we'll be done. So the first fabric that I got is kind of boring. This is a fat half of white sparkle linen. I think it's 32 count, and it's Zweigart linen. It's the same stuff that I stitched the cat on, except it's 32, not 28. And I got a bunch of flosses. So these are all the colors, and I'm gonna show you what I got this for. I got this. I saw this picture on Instagram and I liked it, and I commented that it blew me away and that I couldn't resist and that I had to stitch it. I'd been looking at the pattern on Long Dog samplers anyway, and then I went on my merry way. I think I even sent it to Holly and was like, have you seen this? It's insane. And then I went and looked at it again. And then like a week later, I was still thinking about it, so I went and looked at it again. And so I finally contacted the stitcher, and I asked her if she would mind if I took her conversion and made myself a copy, because it's gorgeous. And I just couldn't stop thinking about it and staring at it and going back and forth and back and forth. And you know, when someone does something that just grabs you, why mess with perfection? So I got all the colors of the DMC that she used. I just got some white sparkly fabric to add a little bit of twist to it, and I'm going to start that this fall. I think actually my friend Kathleen over at Stitching Daisies, she's new. She's going to start uploading videos in the new year, but she is on Instagram, so I'll link her Instagram channel down below. Her and I are thinking of starting that in September. So we'll see. We'll see if I can talk her into actually starting it with me. So let's continue on with some fabric. I picked up, I had an order from Fiberlicious, and I got this fabric, which is Siren Depth, and I thought this would just be really perfect for a mermaid, because I have some Bellas and I have some Noras or some Mirabilias, and like, how perfect is that? It actually looks like a black hole. You know, one of those, like, what do they call them when you go into like this crazy deep hole in the ocean and like you don't know if it ends. It's like an abyss or something like that. It looks like an abyss. So yeah, I think that would be perfect for some mermaid stitching. So I picked that guy up. Don't want to lose the tag, so I know what it is. And then I ordered from Seraphim Fabrics, which I always get dinged for stinking customs on it, no matter what I do. But that's okay, it's worth it. I got a piece of 32 count tender twig. I just got a fat quarter of that. Isn't that beautiful? Doesn't it remind you of like the opposite of flannel flower? So where flannel flower would be, all of the dark spots would be light and the light spots would be dark. So it's less of a darker fabric. This is like the inverse of it, and I love it. I love dirty linen. It sounds really weird, but I think it's just gorgeous. Then I got a fat half of antique lace, which is just a really pretty neutral. I'm always into the neutrals. You can always use that for just about anything. Let me just fold that in half so you can see it a little better. So yeah, kind of looks like it has some oil stains on it, and that's pretty. And then the last one that I picked up from them is another fat quarter. This is 32 count in moss. And again, I'm going to fold that in half just so you can see it a little bit better. That's pretty. So it's very similar to what I would say Seaweed by Fox and Rabbit. Maybe a little less of like colors in it. I think Seaweed has much more color range in it, but this is similar and I like it a lot. So yeah, that's Seraphim. Then colors, Fiber on a Whim. I think I actually got this from 123 Stitch, if I'm not mistaken. But this is Cream and Sugar, and I heard a lot of people talking about this linen. And again, I'll just fold it in half so it's easier to see. It's just a really, really super like creamy color with just a little bit of modeling on there, but not too much. So if you're looking for a fabric that will give you just a little bit of something, this one's probably a good one, and that's Cream and Sugar, and it is in the count in 36 count. Oh, I have Flosstube nose. I didn't think it was a thing. I thought you were all lying. I have my Fabric of the Month Club by Bestitch Me. I get 2 pieces of 36 count. I get the neutrals and then the brights, or the color club. I did actually switch for next month to 32 count because my 36 is growing, and I actually find that my sweetest spot is probably 32. So I wanted to start moving in that direction and get more of those. So the first one here is Catacombs, which is funny because I think Megan in her last video said she really, really wanted Catacombs, and it's the Fabric of the Month for July. Or is it the Fabric of the Month for June? Whatever, doesn't matter. It's the Fabric of the Month. So that's what Catacombs looks like. It's really pretty. Again, it's like a grungy fabric. It's got some greens and some browns and a little bit of like a burgundy color and some grays. It's a fantastic neutral, and great for like Halloween stitching or fall stitching. If you have like a bit of a darker piece, it's really nice. This, on the other hand, complete opposite. It is called Summer Sunrise, and it is vibrant, if I do say so myself. This is like highlighter orange. It's insane. It's like glowing in the light. I was gonna say in the limelight, but that's kind of weird. It's glowing in the ring light. It's crazy bright. Don't know what I'll use that for, but I don't care. I have it. I will use it. Maybe. And then the next purchase, after saying last month that I'm not a pink stitcher, is completely throwing that out the window. So Holly's going to make me eat my words for saying that I don't really do the pink, because I got pink fabric. And this is another thing that I'm completely blaming on Cam over at Cam the Stitcher, because she made me do it. And this is Peony by Fiber on a Whim. It's beautiful. It is so beautiful. Look at that. Oh my goodness. It's so pretty. So, so pretty. Oh my goodness. And then on top of that, as if I couldn't be more of a copycat, I got Pink Tourmaline by A Dinky Dyes. which I wanted to stitch a monochromatic tone-on-tone stitch, just like Cam, because I want to be like Cam. It's so funny because when I got this, I was like, what am I going to stitch with this? Do I want to stitch Beatrice Potter? Do I want to stitch the one by Modern Folk Embroidery that Bridgen just did? I can't remember the name. I'll put it on the screen. What do I want to stitch? And then I was like, I'm going to do Beatrice Potter because that would be really cool. And then I watched Cam's video and she's doing Beatrice Potter. So I don't want to be that much of a copycat, so I'm thinking I might pick a different sampler because that's just kind of crazy. That's like a different level of crazy. But yeah, is that not a beautiful combination? I think the tone is going to just like be very, very tone on tone, like almost to the point where you're going to have to squint a little bit to look at it. And I think that's kind of cool. So that is my fabric that I purchased. Did purchase some other stuff, but it was just like white and antique white that I put in my stash for when I want to dye stuff, but that's all. Okay, I lied. I have 2 more pieces of fabric to show you. So I picked up 2 kits for Bella Filipina patterns from xstitchMD. That was a lot of words to get out what I actually wanted to say. The first one that I got was the Crystal Mermaid Aquabella kit. So that's what she looks like. Beautiful, and inside is all the cry neck and all the beads. I like getting the kits nowadays because Mill Hill is getting rid of some of their Magnifica beads, so if you can get the kits that still have the beads in them, you're all set. And while I was on Fiberlicious, Yummy Fibers, I picked up the fabric, and this is the Till I Come Home fabric. Actually, I think it goes this way in the pattern. So yeah, it's like an ombre, like darker at the bottom, lighter at the top. If I fold it in half, you can probably see that a little bit better. So yeah, this is the fabric that the stitch was stitched on. So I wanted to pick that up as part of it. And then the other one that I got is called Hanan, Deity of the Morning. And that's what she looks like. And all the beads and the cry neck. And while I was on xstitchMD, I did happen to look in her ready to ship fabrics, and she had the called for fabric on hand, and that is Cosmos. And I actually picked up 2 pieces of this because I also have Deity of the Moon, which is stitched on the same fabric. So I figured that way I can have it stitched on the correct fabric when and if I get to it. So that's the problem, right? We have so many things and so many plans and then so many supplies, and we don't even know if we're going to stitch on it. So let's get into some of the fabrics or some of the fibers that I have in here, which is all the floss. Okay, while we're talking about xstitchMD, I did receive the May floss of the month. I think in my last video I had mentioned that Brandy had actually forgot to put my floss of the month in my fabric of the month package. So she added it to the next package and then forgot to include like the regular floss and just gave me the hanks. So I finally got the actual floss, and these are 10-yard skeins and it is silk. So we have the color Firefly, Toe Beans, which is so cute, Quest, which is a beautiful blue, Shortbread, and Mauve or Mauve, depending on when and where you're from. So those are really pretty, but that was May's floss of the month. Then I have June's floss of the month, and it was a beautiful rainbow pack for Pride. Pull those guys out. So here's what they look like. Super pretty. This is Blue Jay, which suits me fine because I'm a big Blue Jay fan. Sagittarius, nice purple. Poison Ivy, Bumble, and Carnelian. So very nice. Just need a red if you wanted to make a complete rainbow. And then I also pick up the 2 25-yard hanks. And this is Maize, which is like a bumblebee color. Be really good for like the corn, the harvest corn that they have. And then Bahama Coconut, just another really beautiful, super variegated color. I find that the 25-yard ones are super variegated, which is kind of nice because you're obviously going to need more of a super variegated to make sure that you can do all of the pattern. All right, next up is some Roxy Floss Co. I love Roxy Floss Co. And if you haven't dealt with Hannah over at Evertote to get a custom conversion before, you need to, because she's a color genius. So like I said with the garden sampler, which was inspired by Lauren, she had Hannah do up a color conversion of Roxy Floss Co. And I had to get it. Look at these colors. Are you kidding me? Everything from like beautiful blues and reds and yellows and purples, and just, it's scrumptious. This is just a gorgeous color conversion, and I'm so excited to use it. And also you get full skeins, right? So these are 8 yards, I believe, did they say? Or 8 yards of floss, and you're not going to use all 8 yards. So you have a lot to add to your collection afterwards. I'm just so excited to use this for that sampler. I do think I will start this. If not in August, I will probably start it in September because it has a pumpkin on it and kind of looks a little fallish to me. Then the other conversion, I actually had her do custom for me. I don't know if anyone else has asked her for it or if it's available anywhere, but I'm sure you can email her, because I did with the garden sampler. I just emailed her and said, hey, I see that you did this for Lauren. Do you mind sending me some? And she's like, for sure. I had her do a conversion for At Home by Brenda Gervais. And here it is. Is this not gorgeous? I love it. Love it. These colors, like, this is like my life. It's giving me everything right now. And this one here, sorry, this one, oh, it's so pretty. So yeah, I'm so happy with the conversion that I can't. And again, they're not even like similar colors. There's probably some crossover, but like, look at all of this floss that I'm adding to my Roxy Floss Co. collection. Love it. So hit Hannah up over at Evertote. I'll link them down below if you're interested in any color conversions, because the woman is a genius. I also was looking for some Christmas floss, like some red and green and white variegated floss. I can't remember why, as you do. And I saw something stitched in a Threadworks, and of course Threadworks isn't readily available anymore. I know that you can get some floss some places, but I found a seller on eBay who is selling packets of the floss. So I want to show you the 2 sets that I picked up, and then I'm going to link her shop down below. It's called Ancora Crafts. So this is what her shop is. And sorry, it's not eBay, it was Etsy. So this is her shop name, and here's her shop information. Again, I'll put it in the description bar down below if you're looking for any threads or patterns or whatever. She had tons of stuff. So I want to show you the 2 sets that I got. So the first one is a Christmas bundle, and I think these are all the ones that went with it. So I got this really beautiful like green on green, a red on red with a more burgundy lean. This is a white with some silvery gray in it. This is like a beautiful kind of greens, minty greens and white. This is another one of the like red, like fire engine red, and like a normal like kind of mid-tone red. Here's your green, like your Christmas colors all mixed in. And these are all 20 yards. Yeah, 20 yards. Then I've got like a more primitive Christmas colors. So it's got a burgundy, kind of a mint green and a deeper green. Here's your golds. This is the one I'm not 100% sure if it's for this collection, but the golds. And another green. And another Christmas one that's a little bit more of a traditional Christmas one, but without the white. So that was the first one, and then I dropped the bag. So the second collection that I picked up was like a woodland collection, and they were too beautiful not to get. So the first one is this beautiful, this reminds me of just like the beach, like that bag that I got from Shiba Designs. It's just like a beautiful beachy scene. And we got this nice neutral with the grays in it. This is like an burnt, like browns and cinnamony colors. This is oranges, like tonal, very tone on tone orange, almost to the point where like you could consider it a single color, but I think there's some tones in there. This one is right up my alley of favorite colors. This is like a peachier one. This is another one up my alley of favorite colors. Teals. This one's got a beautiful mix of fall colors. Another one that has some beautiful fall colors. And then the final one here, which is just like, this just feels warm to me, like a blanket. So those are all the beautiful Threadworks thread that I picked up from Ancora Crafts. And again, I'll link them down below. Then the last, oh, I have a whole bunch of Anchor White. Super exciting. Then the last thing in here, besides my one splurgy purchase, is some Owl Forest Embroidery floss for some of their kits that I am thinking of doing, but if I don't, at least I have the floss and I'm totally fine with that. So this one here is the floss for City of Cats. I don't want to take it out of the package because the stickers on there, and we'll keep all the floss together, and I'll insert that here. This one is for Strawberry Summer, and I'll insert that here. This one is for, oh, I have two of those. Actually, this is Atlantis, and there's 2 packs of the same colors, and I'll insert that here. I am planning to do all 3 sections. This one is for Bayoon Cat. Here. This is for the cat and the ornithology. I think that's what it says. And the last one is for Dinosaur Forest, because when you have dinosaur tattoos, you need all the dinosaur stuff. And my favorite movie series is Jurassic Park. Don't come at me. So Dinosaur Forest, I'll insert that here. And then the last thing, actually there's just another little thing in here. I picked up some scissor caps. They're just like little caps that go on your scissors, the ends of your scissors, just so that they don't poke through your fabric. And the last thing that I got is probably the most bougie thing that I've ever purchased in regards to stitching. Not bougie because it's not the most expensive, but it's like the most unnecessary bougie purchase. I bought a pair of Kohana scissors. Like Kohanas. These are the Sakura. It's funny, I can read it right, but when it actually comes out my mouth, it sounds different. So these are the Sakura Kohana scissors, and I'm not even kidding. I feel like I'm gonna snap them. Like, look at them. They're smaller than like my eyeball. Are you kidding me? And that's with the case on them. Then you take them out and they're even smaller. They're like the tiniest little scissors, and they work. They're sharp. They cut. They're amazing. Are they necessary? No. Do you have to get yourself a pair of Kohana scissors? Should you? Probably. Are they worth it? I don't know. They're cute. And someone said, and I think it was probably Karen and Bren over at Fox and Rabbit, that they're perfect for traveling because they're so small, you can just fit them in anywhere and then immediately lose them because they're so small. But me being me and how easily enabled I am, it's kind of disgusting. I had to get them. So I now own the world's tiniest little scissors. But they're pink and they're cute. So that's all. So let me just get into some quick plans and then we can go, because this has been a long video. The mess is getting bigger and bigger, and now the dog's here, and that's never fun. So let me just make a space and get my plans, and I'll be right back. Okay, so my plans for the month of August, like I said, it's pretty heavy baseball month. It's our last month of baseball, so we're gonna be on the diamond pretty much all the time. But in my off times, I have 3 things that I want to work on. First off is my LOTD project, or my length of the day project. I'm gonna continue on with Patchwork Quaker and see if I can't get that knocked out by the end of the month, and then if I do, I'll pick another one and replace that. If not, you'll see it at the end of the month, and then we'll see it again in September, unless I throw it out because I'm tired of it. The other one, this is Nancy's copy, I have a digital version, is to start Summer Quaker. My plan is to start it tonight after I finish my length of the day project. The official SAL starts tomorrow. We have baseball. So I'll be in the office all day tomorrow and then come home and immediately have dinner and go to baseball. So I won't get a chance to likely stitch at all tomorrow, and I do want to get some stitches in. So I'll just start it tonight and pretend I started it tomorrow. Shh, don't tell anyone. So yeah, this starts August 1st. I'll post the hashtag right here, and again, that's being run by Samantha over at the Hygge Stitcher, and I'll link her down below. I haven't picked out my fabric, but I think I'm gonna go with a more yellow toned neutral because that's what it looks like it's stitched on, and I think that would let the colors really pop. Worst comes to worse, I will do Vintage Country Mocha because I have lots of that. The other major plan is by Lauren over at New Hampshire Stitcher. She announced this, I want to say it was like a couple videos ago, and it's her BAP to School project. So BAP to School project. I'll put that here. And again, I'll link Lauren down below. She wants everyone to start or perhaps pull out your big ass projects and work on it. So I am never one to turn down an opportunity to start a big ass project. I have 2 that I'm thinking of. The same one that Lauren is looking at from Hands Across the Sea. I can't remember the name of it. I did order it, but I haven't ordered any of the items for it, like any of the actual floss or fabric or anything like that. I just ordered the pattern in case I change my mind. But I'm leaning towards stitching this one. So here's the bag that I'm using as the storage. It's a Little Boat 88 bag. Super pretty, and it kind of goes with the color theme of the pattern that I chose. So you can see it's got lots of pinks and really soft colors. Pattern that I chose, I'll pull it out here, is Fox and Rabbits, Hannah Dawson, 1831. I love it. I think it's a BAP. It is, does it have the size on here? Hold on, move all the fabrics, all the flosses down. It doesn't have it readily available. Let me see if I can pull it out and find that for you. I'm sure it's on like one of the information sheets. How am I not seeing it? Oh, it's right at the top. It's 199 by 243. So if you take Jen from Quirks and Stitches way of doing the math, which is to add the 2 together and divide by 2, and anything over 250 is technically a BAP. It's not quite BAP-ish, but for me, I'm calling it a BAP. Can't stop me from doing that. So this is the one that I'm thinking of starting. I'm pretty sure I've got all the flosses. So these are the ones that I pulled from my collection that I already had. It's all stitched in Belle Soie and 1 Gloriana. So I had all of these ones, and then I picked up the Gloriana and the remaining flosses that I was missing. And I also picked up a piece of 32 count smoky, is that what it's called? Yeah, smoky white Belfast. That's by Zweigart, and that is that like the companion to Vintage Country Mocha, where on one side it's variegated and on the other side it's just like an antique white. So I thought that would be really nice. It wouldn't take away from any of the colors. It would let everything pop but still bring a little something to the game. And like I said, this is a Little Boat 88 bag with the thread bed in there because I thought that would be important. So it's my thoughts for BAP to School. I kind of like that idea. Like I said, it's not an official BAP, whereas the Hands Across the Sea one is like 400 by 400 or something insane. So it's like a BAP plus in my opinion. But I think that's the one I'm going to go with because it is a big project. It will take me a really long time to do, and I'm kind of in love with it. So yeah, if you're stitching a back to school project, let me know what that is in the description or in the comments down below. I'd be interested to see what other people are thinking of stitching. And if you haven't heard of back to school and you want to join the back to school, go over to Instagram, follow the hashtag, and get ready to be easily enabled by all the humongous patterns. I actually just ordered, because I'm gonna do a no by August, so I had to do all the shopping this week. I ordered the Vicki Clayton silk pack for autumn on Lazy Bear Mountain, and that is a BAP. So that is also a possibility, but I think that's going to be like my October 1st pattern that I'm hoping to start. So it'll be like another BAP to fall pattern. But anyway, so that's it. Before I continue to ramble, I've been by myself all day. Boys are off at the baseball game. Blue Jays, not theirs. So I'm all by myself, so I'm just chatty, but I need to get back to my stitching and I want to edit this video and get it up before the month switches over. So I hope you've had a fantastic start to the summer and are stitching away and not melting in the insane heat that we've had over the last couple of weeks. And until my next video, guys, I'll see you later. Bye, everyone.